Putin's allies insist Russia will win the war by the end of the year. Ramzan Kadyrov also told Russian broadcaster that negotiating with Zelensky would be wrong. Vladimir Putin's ally insisted that Russia achieve its military objectives in Ukraine by the end of the year. Ramzan Kadyrov, head of Russia's Chechnya region, said in an interview that Moscow has the power to capture the capital, Kyiv, and must capture Ukraine's second city, Kharkiv, and its main port, Odessa. We believe that by the end of the year we will 100% fulfill the task set before us today, Kadyrov, a military man who played a significant role in the war in Ukraine, told Russia 1. We are sitting at the negotiating table with Zelensky. Yes, this looks wrong. This comes after Putin's forces launched a deadly rocket attack on 5 districts of Kherson, damaging railways and preventing trains from Kiev and Lvov from reaching the city, reports say. Meanwhile, the Russians had advanced 2 kilometers, 1.24 miles, to the west. In a statement issued today, Russia's defense ministry said Vladimir Putin's ally in Ukraine over the past 4 days insisted that Russia would achieve its military objectives in Ukraine by the end of the year. Chechnya said in an interview that Moscow had the power to capture the capital, Kyiv, and should capture Ukraine's second city, Kharkiv, and its main port, Odessa. Kadyrov, whose forces have played a prominent role in the war in Ukraine, told Russia 1. I believe that, by the end of the year, we will 100% complete the task set for us today. He also told interviewer Olga Skabyeva, who hosts a stridently pro-war chat show, if we sit down at the negotiating table with Zelensky, yes, I think that's wrong. NATO's Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg says he expects issue of aircrafts to be discussed at the upcoming 2-day meeting of NATO defense ministers from Tuesday. There is now a discussion going on also on the question of aircrafts, and I expect that also to be addressed tomorrow at the meeting in Brussels, he said, adding that supplying aircrafts to Ukraine whereas the country under attack by Russia needs urgent support on the ground. Stoltenberg also stressed that NATO countries supplying fighter jets to Ukraine would not make the military alliance part of the conflict. Russian launches system to scan internet for undesired content and dissent. Russia has launched a system that will scan the internet for illegal content. Moscow created the system to make it easier for authorities to detect unsanctioned protests, anti-war dissent and LGBT propaganda, officials said on Monday. Reuters adds, the Oculus system will be able to read text and recognize illegal scenes in photos and videos, analyzing more than 200,000 images per day at a rate of about 3 seconds per image, the Interfax news agency reported. Since sending its armed forces into Ukraine in February, Moscow has suppressed political opposition and independent media inside Russia that had survived previous clampdowns, and amplified a conservative, nationalist narrative that frowns on non-traditional lifestyles and orientations. Oculus automatically detects offenses such as extremist content, calls for illegal mass gatherings or suicide, pro-drug content, LGBT propaganda and so on. Interfax quoted the main radio frequency center, MRFC, part of the communications supervisor Roskomnadzor, as saying, since the start of special operations in Ukraine, fakes have been increasing and spreading at an unprecedented rate, aiming to replace real facts with purpose-built realities, the report said. The creation of this system is our response to provocation. Anti-Russian actions by foreign sources.